You're going to notice that when you're fighting, your center dot might be perfectly lined up with your opponent's head, but still can miss. This is the blue mechanic and its randomness. What's going on, guys? This is your motivation guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen, and I am back. Okay, so I've been hearing lots of messages on how to improve your aim with the new season, all of that, all right? So today's video is a very special one. We're going to be doing the one and only aim training guide that you're ever gonna need. Okay, we're gonna be talking about the physics of the weapons in Fortnite, breaking down the biggest myth about aiming and how to utilize the weapons the best way possible. You know, once you have the knowledge you need, we're gonna talk about how you can improve your aim in only 15 minutes per day. Yeah, I just said that. Teaching you guys, the pro routines to improve and the best practices to stay consistent. Now, let me start by saying that aim training isn't a one-stop shop. You guys cannot just learn different techniques and aim drills and then just be done. It's not easy like that, right? This is not efficient training, to a top tier aimer like Mongrel or, Booga, but you need to have consistent training and just warm up practices. So today's video is gonna help you guys get to where you want to be, but to get there isn't gonna be easy, all right? And that's why I'm here today, your motivation guide to help you get there, all right? So I'm so hyped for the training, and who knows, man, maybe season 3 is going to be your season. So don't be afraid to invest in your aim. All right, guys, Bunch of Crunch Army, it's about that time. Say it with me. It's time to sit back, come on, relax, and grab some of my favorite candy. Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? It's that, one hand, Bunch of Crunch, and let's get this going. All right, guys, I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and debunk one of the biggest myths surrounding aim. You guys ready? Let's go. What is the myth that you may be thinking? Well, it's a common one. To have good aim, you need to be on low sensitivity. Now, guys, this is as common as they come. It's not just a Fortnite, thing. Many people are under this impression for many different games. This statement simply isn't true. The fact of the matter is this, that your aim is as good as the amount of time that you invest into it. So the thing with Fortnite is that the game is not only aim calibrated, your sensitivity has so much more responsibility. You can't have it too slow because you may struggle with certain building techniques or quick edits. And you can't have it too fast because you may overflick and just mess up pump shots or edits, right? But even then, it's possible to have good aim if given enough practice. So how do you improve your aim? Good question. Crosshair placement is a good place to start. Now, having a slower sensitivity means you can control your mouse or analog stick better depending on your input. This isn't always the case, right? There are people out there who find the freedom you get when you play on higher sensitivity. It allows for complete control and they can utilize the higher sense to their playstyle. Whatever kind of player you are, having good crosshair placement is something I feel everyone should master. What does it mean to have good crosshair placement though? Good question. When you can achieve proper crosshair placement, that's when you're going to see improvement in your shot and better consistency in your edits. In a game like Fortnite, guys, crosshair placement isn't just hitting shots. No. It's for hitting everything. From editing to placing build pieces to aim, your crosshair placement has a direct impact on your gameplay. And if you want to improve, you need to get this placement down properly. Having a proper system in place with your crosshair placement so that you can just flow from editing to shooting with ease is really important. And if you're able to land massive pump shots, then you're doing it right. Let me give you an example of this, all right? So if you're editing, let's say a wall. You edit the wall and select all 4 tiles to open it up, right? If you finish that edit by ending on the center square, then your crosshair placement is ready for a shotgun shot to your opponent because it's already placed where they're going to be. Let's say you finish the edit in a different place, then you need to do a massive adjustment, which could mean you mess up the shot altogether because of the adjustment. This is what I mean, guys, by being able to just flow from an editing standpoint to shooting effortlessly by being disciplined in the placement of your crosshair. So we now know having a low sensitivity helps crosshair placement, but it doesn't have to be slow. How do you find, guys, the perfect sensitivity? This is the question I get all the time. Here we go. You have to judge this based on your own gameplay. Like how you play and what skill level that you're currently at. Assessing your own strengths and weaknesses can be really hard, especially if you're new to the game. But even if you're not, we got guides, we got pro courses, we have live classes for all skill levels. So you have to check out proguides.com for our Play with Pro service to help you guys access what you should look to work on. Links are down below, my friends. All right, so let me let you in on a little secret. Here we go. You don't have to have the fastest sense or have the craziest flicks to be the best player. I can promise you guys that the best players aren't the fastest. They're just the most consistent, really. Remember this, like when you play around and you find the best sense for you, okay, so admittedly, controller players have a lot more freedom and can just customize particular speeds like build or edit multipliers. Our recommendations are an equal but somewhat high sense multiplier for both build and edit speed. Editing on a controller is considered harder than editing on a mouse. This is because the mouse has more precise aim compared to analog sticks on the controller, right? While also allowing fast flick-like edits that can just quickly outline pieces and allow for instant edits. And because of this, you may find the need to increase your editing multiplier in order to just keep up with keyboard and mouse players. So feel free to move this number higher. Now with your build sense multiplier, here we go. We recommend the opposite. Speed isn't always your friend, as you want to be able to place build pieces to block shots fast, but you also want to be able to have control and precision with every build piece you place. I'm going to give you an example, all right? Have you guys ever heard of Plotlism? Here's one of the best 1v1 wagers in the world, and he plays on such a low, slow build sensitivity that it almost looks like he's dragging his crosshairs around every time he's building. So, how is he so good with such a low sense? All right, well, building is all about smart piece placement, right? Which needs to be done accurately. You can't always get the right angles to place cones and such with the super fast sensitivity. Now, what you want to make sure you don't do, which is a very common mistake, and is make it so fast that it's hard to control and too slow where you can't even turn and build when getting shot in the back. If you find you're overshooting your builds and you're overextending, then you're not in control of your building, which means it's not as efficient as it could be. All right, so let's get into the physics of the weapons. Here we go. All right, so before we get into the weapons and what they actually do, let's talk about some common knowledge first, all right? In Fortnite, there is a bloom mechanic, which isn't a thing in a lot of other games like Counter-Strike, for example. Bloom is essentially a circle within your crosshair, and the bullets you shoot land in random spots within the circle. You're gonna notice that when you're fighting, your center dot might be perfectly lined up with your opponent's head, but still can miss. This is the bloom mechanic and its randomness. And now, a lot of people don't like bloom because you could spend 1,000 hours training your aim, and at the end of the day, it really just comes down to a random number generator if your shot is going to land or not. Right now, that's bloom in Fortnite. All right, so let's move into hit scan weapons. What is hit scan? A lot of you guys ask. Hit scan is when a bullet that leaves the barrel of a gun experiences no delay or bullet drop when traveling. So to use a hit scan weapon, all you realistically need to do is just point and shoot. You're gonna find this in almost every weapon in the game, from ARs to SMGs to shotguns. The only weapons that are different are snipers, RPGs, grenade launchers, and grenades. These are considered to be projectile weapons. These weapons, man, when shot, the bullet does experience bullet drop, which you have to take into account when firing. If the player is moving and you have a sniper, you need to predict where they're going to be by the time the bullet reaches them, taking into account the bullet drop and distance they are from you. So, what are the weapons of Fortnite good for, and what are the strengths? Well, projectile weapons, you can use this mechanic in your favor, right? If you shoot an RPG at a player who is tunneling forward, if you time it right, you can just shoot the rocket inside their box, dealing splash damage to players around, right? This will take time, it will, but if you can just perfect it, then game modes like trios, you can actually expect some serious damage dealt to players. All right, guys, so another weapon we wanted to talk about was the charged shotgun. And if charged, deals more damage. A lot of players were hating on this weapon, and it just felt it needed to be removed, but it was actually very powerful once you master it. It's kind of turned into my favorite gun. Take it from me, guys, like, you just need to take your time and just pre-charge the weapon. Look, I don't want to go into details about this weapon because we have a full dedicated video about it, which we have in the link in the description below, all right? ARs and SMGs are also good for spraying to burn through enemy builds and materials. Okay, so the SMG in particular is very good at getting into players' boxes and do some serious damage up close. I mean, I've seen some clips that definitely will scare you. Okay, so that's what you need to know about weapons. How do you actually improve your aim though? Come on now. Like we have said multiple times, like consistency. Oh yeah, that word again, consistency. Like if you really want to improve, you really just need to invest in yourself. Depending on like how much you play the game, you should set aside time to just warm up and time for training. One thing that you do need to realize is training and warming up are two different things. You know, you only really need to train your aim 2 to 3 times a week, and as long as you are consistent with warming up your aim each time you come in, you know, that'll be good. This is, you know, once again based on your availability and really how much you play the game. Let's say you play 5 days a week, 5 hours each session. Now, for someone whose game time looks similar to this, we would recommend training your aim 2 days a week. With this training, we recommend spending 30 to 45 minutes in a creative map that we're going to talk about in a second. Doing this twice a week is going to help you improve your aim, and you're going to be hitting more shots consistently over time. Now, on the days where you're not training your aim, we do recommend trying our ultimate 15-minute warm-up, okay? Before we get into that though, let's take a look at the map that you're going to be using. Here we go. So the best way to improve your aim is Skaavoks. This is a popular map used by a lot of pro players, so you may have heard of it. What's really cool about this map is that it's a collaboration with none other than Mongrel. I mean, come on, my friends, like Mongrel's aim is top tier. So, you know, you guys out there who are high sens have faith knowing that this is going to help you out if Mongrel is a part of it. One of the best things about this map is that it's completely free. We're going to show you the map code on the screen for you, all right? Here we go. Now, there's obviously Skaavoks, which is an aim training simulator, which comes highly recommended by pro players. The problem with this is that a lot of you guys who watch our videos may not be able to get the money for the simulator. With that being said, we don't want to really go through the benefits of it because we want to make a guide which will help everyone's needs, and this map is open to everybody. All right, guys, so what does this map have to offer? Firstly, it has a lot, man. Like, you're looking at different types of training, from tile frenzy to jump shot techniques, also known as the Tfue Classic, to tracking simulators, okay? Now, what we like about this map is that it's Fortnite. Aim training simulators like Skaavoks are good, but it isn't really the game itself, and there's only so much simulation that you can do. The same can be said about this map. It's a simulation in Fortnite, which does not have the reactions and human-like movement that, you know, you're gonna come against in a real game. The goal you need to have in mind though, like when training your aim, is to perfect your crosshair placement and how much you need to move your mouse or analog stick. I know a lot of controller players really don't see the point in practicing something like tile frenzy, but each one of these courses you can partake in will help you improve one aspect or multiple. So, what is the best one for you to practice? So let's go off of a full 45-minute session for an example, right? In the first 5 minutes, here's what I do, okay? I would recommend doing tile frenzy at whatever range you want. Mix it up every single time. Tile frenzy is a simulation which helps warm up your mouse control or analog. Shout out to my controller players. So being able to flick to the tiles will help when you need to make fast, swift adjustments to your crosshair. So next, for 10 minutes, try out Bounce 360. You can train your hip fire or tracking over here. Being able to track players is massively important in Fortnite. So the longer you spend here, the better, man. Like, we would say 10 minutes to 2 to 3 times a week, you're gonna be fine. Thirdly, Reaction FS. This is for shotgun aim, so grab a shotgun and practice those flex shots. Depending on your skill level, 10 to 15 minutes for this one. Next up, Tfue Classic for 5 minutes. All right, back and forth a few times will warm up your hands doing jump shots and catching yourself each time. For the last 5 to 10 minutes, do the Mongrel Classic, as taking walls and going for this move is quite common, so it's gonna help perfect it. An honorable mention to this map is the horizontal and vertical tracking. So if you feel like you won't benefit from one of the simulators we have mentioned, I would recommend swapping it out for one of these. These should cover you for the days you have dedicated to practice. Now, what about the ultimate warm-up? Skaavoks is a map we recommend for practicing now, so you can just take the practice we discussed and just shorten it down for a warm-up, all right? But if you do want a map that is not only going to help warm up not only your aim but edits too, this map is the perfect package. Raider's 15-minute warm-up course, all right? This is an editing map, but throughout it, it has targets that you shoot once you complete an edit. The targets are at random points throughout the course, so it's going to help warm up your reaction speed, crosshair placement, and shotgun aim. Now, for myself, this is perfect because I struggle more with like my shotgun aim than my AR. This map allows me to remember my muscle memory by having an intense course, which honestly does not take long. Obviously, it's called a 15-minute warm-up course, so the longest it has taken me is like 20 minutes, and I love how it has different kinds of edits, which you're going to end up doing when you get into a public game, so it does the job of getting your aim and edit where you want it to be. All right, my friends, so we've had a lot of fun doing this video, so let's do a recap to make sure you have everything you need going forward. Who's ready? Here we go. Hope you're still there. Let's go. You don't need to have a slow sense to be a good aimer. Invest time into a proper schedule and you're going to see improvements. All right, next up, finding the perfect sense is all about figuring out what works for you and your playstyle. Don't get too comfortable and just stick to your old settings. Be open and explore what's out there, okay? Some weapons are hit scan and some are projectile. Learn the mechanics of the weapons and how they work to make them work in your favor. All right, guys, so each weapon has their own strengths and weaknesses. We broke down certain weapons in categories. Take this away with you and just practice what we've said to perfect the strengths that each weapon has to offer. Depending how much you play, designate the time wisely so you can train efficiently. If you match our example of 5 days a week, if you don't play that much or even play more, just adjust it to your schedule. Skaavoks is a great creative aim course map within Fortnite. The fact that it's free and offers so many great aim simulators means I can recommend it enough. Raider's 15-minute warm-up course is a simple yet super intense and effective way to just really warm up your crosshair placement, and it's just a great way to start your gaming session. All right, guys, thanks again for watching, man. Once again, this is your motivation guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. Make sure you guys like the video, all right? Subscribe to the channel. Hey, share with all your friends because we have so much in store and we have so much going down here at the Pro Guides Fortnite channel. We'll see you soon.